If you don't know, now you know. Southwest Florida real estate's officially on sale. No, seriously, the numbers are in, and home prices dropped nearly 11% compared to this time last year. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines thinking I missed my window, this might be just your moment. And if you're selling, this video is even more important. I'm Brayden Milner, lifelong Southwest Florida local, third-generation realtor, and your trusted source for all things Southwest Florida real estate. Now let's break down what the shift actually means for you, your money, your next move, and your long-term game plan. Alright, so let's talk about what everyone's whispering about, or in some cases, straight up panicking over. Has the Southwest Florida housing market corrected? The short answer, yes. And the numbers are bigger than most people expected. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what's happening across Southwest Florida real estate right now, why prices dropped nearly 11% in just the last year, what's fueling the shift, and what it means if you're planning to buy, sell, or invest anytime soon. So let's get into it. So what does that nearly 11% drop actually look like? Last May, the median home price in Southwest Florida was selling for about $449,000. This May, we're down to $400,000 flat. Price per square foot also took a dip from $370 to $338. That's a pretty clear signal that prices are softening. But this correction isn't happening equally across the board, so let's break it down. Cape Coral's taken some of the biggest hits. In certain neighborhoods, single-family homes are down more than 24%. Fort Myers saw a more moderate drop, around 13.5%. And condos and townhomes across Lee County, down nearly 14% year over year. Overall, single-family homes in all of Lee County are down about 4%. But surprisingly, Collier County, especially Naples, is up 6.7%. Yeah, you heard that right. What this shows is simple. Real estate's hyper-local. Even inside one region, neighborhood to neighborhood, property values are reflecting differently. So what's behind this shift, and why are prices dropping now? Well, there are a few reasons. One, inventory has exploded. We ended January with over 172,000 homes for sale in all of Florida, the highest since 2012. That's up about 22.7% from the same time last year, and with more options, buyers have more power. 2. Interest rates are still higher than most people are used to. Even though they've stabilized a bit, we're nowhere near those crazy low rates we saw in 2020 or 2021. That impacts affordability and slows down decision making. 3. Migration has slowed. People are still moving here, and let's be real, who wouldn't? But the frenzy has definitely cooled down. 4. And finally, buyers are being cautious. Between inflation, talk of a recession, and job market uncertainty, a lot of folks are hitting pause. But here's what I really want to emphasize. This doesn't seem like 2008. This looks more like a correction than a crash. Lending standards are tight, and even though inventory is high, the demand is still real, especially for the Southwest Florida lifestyle. If you're a buyer, let me be clear. This shift is your window. You're getting more home for your money now than you have in years. A $500,000 budget today goes about $55,000 further than it did last year. That can mean an extra bedroom, a better lot, or even a pool. And for the first time in a while, you're not in a bidding war. You're not making offers sight unseen. You actually get to tour homes, compare features, and think about your decision. You've got more negotiating power now too. Sellers are more open to things like price reductions, repairs after inspections, and even seller credits towards closing costs or rate buydowns. I personally actually closed on my first home a few months ago and was able to secure a great deal on an on-market property with the current market conditions. So if you've been thinking about buying recently, here's what I'd do. 1. Get pre-approved so you know your budget and your rate options. That way you know exactly how much you can comfortably spend and craft your unique offer when you're ready. 2. Work with a knowledgeable, full-time local agent who knows the market. Not all of us are created equally, so it pays dividends in the long run to use someone that you can trust. And 3, don't wait for the perfect bottom. Chances are you're going to miss it, so buy when the home and price make sense for your goals. And if you're open to homes that need a little bit of work, you might find serious value add opportunities that others are overlooking. Now for my sellers, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This isn't the same market that we were in a year or two ago, but homes are still selling. You just need to take the right approach. Here's what it looks like in 2025. Price it right from day one. Overpriced listings are sitting and eventually selling for less than if they were priced correctly to begin with. Presentation is huge. Clean, staged, and professionally photographed homes stand out, especially in a market with more competition. Be realistic about your timeline. The average days on market is now between 49 and 59 days. That's normal, so plan for it. Stay flexible. Be open to negotiations on price, closing costs, and even repair credits to ensure that you find a buyer. If you bought a home before 2020, you probably still have solid equity. However, if you bought in the peak in 2021 or 2022, your strategy might need to look a little different, but you're not out of options. And please, don't list with an agent that just throws your property on the MLS and hopes for the best. Marketing matters more than ever. You need video tours, social media promotion, targeted ads, and every other tool in the toolkit. So what's next? Most experts expect prices to stay flat or close to it through the end of 2025. High inventory levels and cautious buyers mean this isn't bouncing back overnight. But if interest rates drop, that could spark a new wave of demand. Until then, we're looking at a slow burn, especially through the summer. But big picture, the reasons people move to Florida haven't changed. No state income tax, beach access, year-round sun, golfing, boating, restaurants, and the lifestyle. And with billions of dollars of developments planned and approved around Southwest Florida, long-term, the upside's definitely there. This just happens to be a moment where buyers are back in control. So here's your next steps. If you're buying, get pre-approved now. Take your time, but act decisively when the right property hits. And don't be afraid to negotiate. Throw out an offer that works for you and see if the seller bites. We've been seeing a lot of great deals close recently. And if you're selling, nail the pricing from the start. Invest in photos, prep, and marketing. And be flexible and realistic about your timing. And if you're an investor, even with prices dropping, with high rates, cash flow opportunities are slim, but they're out there with the right strategy. However, cash investors are starting to see annual rent returns creep back into the 7 to 10% range. Rehab homes could also be major wins in this type of market. And be picky about the location. It matters now more than ever when you go to rent or flip the property. And if you're staying put, you're likely still in a great position. And if your home value dropped, it might be worth appealing your property taxes. And even if you are upside down, hopefully you were able to take advantage of the low rates for the past couple years. So that's the latest on prices in Southwest Florida. If you've got questions about your specific situation, drop them in the comments or reach out via any of the contact methods in the description below. And if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing, my team and I would love to guide you through it. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like, hit the subscribe button, and share it with anyone you know who needs to hear this. Thank you all for watching, and you'll be sure to hear from me next time there's a shift in the market.